viewers, thank you so much for joining us on OneNews International. I'm Katarina Amelia. Tonight, viewers, we bring you the latest headlines shaping global developments right now, from high-level diplomatic contacts in the Middle East to escalating military rhetoric between Israel and Hezbollah. The tension is getting hot, viewers. US President Donald Trump on Monday, June 1st, said he had communicated with the Iran-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah through intermediaries and obtained assurance that the group will not carry out attacks against Israel. Meanwhile, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the Israel Defense Forces or IDF will continue planned operations in southern Lebanon, warning that Israel could strike Beirut if Hezbollah does not stop its attack. So viewers, stay with us as we continue to follow these developments and bring you the latest updates from the region to the globe. Viewers, this is OneNews International.
US President Donald Trump announced on Monday, June 1st, that he had communicated with the Iran-backed Lebanese militant group Hezbollah through intermediaries and obtained assurance that the group will refrain from launching attacks against Israel. According to Trump, he also held discussions with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, after which Israel agreed to withdraw forces that had been preparing for potential military operations in southern Lebanon. If confirmed, such contact will be unprecedented as no sitting US president has previously engaged in communication with Hezbollah either directly or indirectly. The United States officially designates Hezbollah as a terrorist organization. A Lebanese official told Reuters that Hezbollah conveyed a message to Washington through Lebanon's parliament speaker Nabi Berri, expressing its willingness to suspend attacks on northern Israel in return for Israel refraining from targeting Beirut and its surrounding suburbs. The conflict in Lebanon has become the most significant regional spillover of the war involving Iran. Since March 2nd, Israeli airstrikes and evacuation orders have displaced more than 1.2 million people across Lebanon after Hezbollah began launching rockets and drones into Israel in support of its ally Iran. In the latest military developments, the Israeli army reported on Saturday that its forces had captured the historic 900-year-old Beaufort Castle, along with a strategically important ridge in southern Lebanon. The advance came one day after Hezbollah carried out one of its heaviest barrages against northern Israel since the ceasefire reached in April, prompting school closures and additional security restrictions in affected areas. Meanwhile, Japanese Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi urged Iran to demonstrate what she described as maximum flexibility in order to capitalize on the opportunity for a ceasefire agreement with the United States. Speaking after a phone conversation with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian on Monday, June 1st, Takaichi also called for the swift reopening of the Strait of Hormuz to ensure the safe and uninterrupted passage of ships from Asia and other parts of the world. While Takaichi did not disclose details of Pezeshkian's response, she stated that both leaders agreed to maintain close communication moving forward.
In Romania's case, just this year, we have seen more than 30 such incursions. We have seen a growing frequency.
Romania formally accused Russia at the United Nations Security Council on Monday, June 1st, of carrying out what it described as a reckless drone incursion.
And that Romanian property has been significantly damaged. A mother and child were injured and required medical care, but now
that hit a residential apartment building in Galati, leaving a mother and child injured and causing extensive damage. Foreign Minister Anatoiu stated that Romania had documented more than 30 similar airspace violations this year, but emphasized that this was the first incident since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in which Romanian civilians required medical treatment. Russia's UN ambassador Vasily Nebenzia dismissed the allegations as baseless, saying Moscow was willing to cooperate with an investigation if debris and verifiable evidence were provided.
Полагаю, что основной целью нашего нынешнего собрания является отработка запроса западных стран и создание.
Ukraine's UN ambassador Andriy Melin said the incident underscored the urgent need for Europe to strengthen Ukraine's integrated air defense capabilities and to intercept Russian drones before they reach Ukrainian territory. Both the European Union and the United States condemned the strike, with Washington reiterating its commitment to defend every inch of NATO territory. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday, June 1st, accused Ukraine of escalating what he called a pattern of crimes following recent strikes on a dormitory in the northeastern Luhansk regions and apartment building in Russian-controlled Kherson. Speaking at a meeting focused on the aftermath of the attack in Starobilsk, Russia's state media quoted Putin as saying that Ukraine had opened a new page in a series of crimes by allegedly targeting civilians, including children and teenagers at the teachers' college in Starobilsk and Hanichest. According to reports, the drone attack on the dormitory in Starobilsk killed 21 people in late May, while another strike on a residential building in Hanichest on Sunday left one child dead and 11 others injured. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stated on Monday that Israeli Defense Forces will continue its planned operation in southern Lebanon, warning that Israel could strike the Lebanese capital Beirut if Hezbollah does not halt its attack on Israeli territory. In a post on X, Netanyahu said he had spoken by phone with U.S. President Donald Trump and reiterated Israel's position that if Hezbollah continues firing at Israeli cities and civilians, Israel will strike terrorist targets in Beirut, adding that this stance remained unchanged. On the same day, Lebanese authorities confirmed that Hezbollah had agreed to a U.S. proposed framework calling for a mutual cessation of attacks with Israel. The Lebanese embassy in Washington stated on X that the confirmation followed a phone call between Lebanese President Joseph Aoun and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, during which they discussed the situation in Lebanon and ongoing efforts to reduce tensions. According to the embassy, the proposal outlines a reciprocal halt to hostilities in which Israeli strikes on Beirut's southern suburbs will cease in exchange for Hezbollah stopping its attacks on Israel. The agreement would later be expanded to cover the entirety of Lebanese territory. The embassy further said that U.S. President Donald Trump later informed Lebanon's ambassador to the United States, Nada Hamadeh Mawad, that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had approved the proposal. Ambassador Mawad reportedly conveyed this development to President Aoun, who then passed the information to Hezbollah leadership, according to the statement. The embassy added that negotiation sessions scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday are expected to continue advancing the proposed agreement. Earlier on Monday, Netanyahu and Israeli Defense Minister Israel Kast ordered strikes on the Dahiyah district in southern Beirut, a non-Hezbollah stronghold, following a rise in rocket and drone attacks targeting Israeli military positions. On Monday, June 1st, crowds gathered in Tehran in a show of support for Lebanon, coinciding with reports of a proposed agreement aimed at halting hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah. Waving Iranian and Hezbollah flags, demonstrators expressed solidarity with Lebanon, stating that supporting the country aligns with Iran's national interest. Separately, Lebanon's embassy in Washington issued a statement saying that Hezbollah had agreed to a U.S.-brokered proposal for a mutual ceasefire, which will be extended across Lebanese territory. U.S. President Donald Trump also said on Monday that he had communicated with the Iran-backed Lebanese group Hezbollah through intermediaries and secured assurances that it will not carry out attacks against Israel. Trump added that he had spoken with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, after which Israel reportedly agreed to withdraw forces that had been preparing operations in southern Lebanon. Such contact will be unprecedented as no U.S. president has previously engaged with Hezbollah directly or indirectly. The United States designated the groups as a terrorist organization. In Israel, National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir urged Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to reject Trump's approach and continue military operations against Hezbollah. In a post on X on Monday, June 1st, Ben-Gvir wrote that Israel should tell its friend President Trump no, and continue what he described as necessary strikes against the group. The developments come amid one of the most significant regional escalations linked to the broader Iran-Israel conflict. Since March 2nd, more than 1.2 million people in Lebanon have been displaced due to Israeli strikes and evacuation orders, after Hezbollah began launching rockets and drones into Israel in support of Iran. Hundreds of the demonstrators took to the streets of Santiago on Monday, June 1st, to protest against the administration of President Jose Antonio Kast. Just hours after he delivered his first State of the Nation address. The demonstration was organized by a coalition of social movements, including feminist organizations, student groups, and labor unions. Marchers voiced their opposition to the government through chants and banners, while also displaying a large cardboard effigy of the president. Authorities deployed police officers and water cannons to manage and disperse the crowd during the protest. Earlier in the day, Chilean President Jose Antonio Kast used his inaugural address to Congress to present a legislative agenda focused on strengthening public security, reducing government spending, and stimulating economic growth. However, critics at the rally argued that the administration policies threaten public services and social protections, including healthcare, education, and other fundamental rights. Public support for the Kast has declined since he assumed office in March. According to polling firm Kedem, his approval rating has dropped from 57% to 38%. During his speech in the coastal city of also plans to address illegal immigrations, reaffirming his commitment to stricter border controls and immigration policies. The president announced that his government will introduce legislation and administrative initiative aimed at encouraging undocumented migrants to leave the country voluntarily. As part of a broader strategy to strengthen immigration enforcement. The address marked an important political moment for Kast, who has faced mounting challenges in recent months, including declining popularity and instability within his cabinet. Political observers view progress on his key campaign pledges, particularly those related to security and economic performance. As essential to rebuilding public confidence and consolidating support among his core voters. Russian President Vladimir Putin has a strategic move to counter attacks carried out by Ukraine. He is implementing a policy of shutting down mobile internet services and cracking down on foreign messaging applications to prevent Ukrainian drone attacks. However, access to essential services such as medical, information, and payment systems is accepted. Vladimir Putin has ordered the Prime Minister and the Director of the Federal Security Service to ensure that access to these essential services remains available during periods of restricted internet service. Russia's decision to occasionally shut down mobile internet services and restrict foreign messaging apps has forced millions of people to switch to VPN. Putin stated that this measure is taken to strengthen domestic control after 4 years of war. In a list of orders published on Sunday, May 31, 2026, by the Kremlin, Putin instructed the governments and the FSB to ensure the uninterrupted operation of the most essential services during periods of restricted internet operation. The order states that Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin and FSB Director Alexander Bortnikov must report progress by July 1st. Putin described disruption to internet and communication networks as a painful security measure, but sometimes necessary to prevent terrorist attacks and Ukrainian drone strikes. However, he emphasized that citizens must still be allowed access to essential online services during such periods.
the end of today's coverage, viewers. Thank you so much for choosing OneNews International as your window to the world. I'm Katarina Amelia, together with the entire team on duty. Thank you so much for watching and staying informed with us. Don't miss our next edition as we continue to break down the stories that matter, the facts behind the headlines, and the latest developments from around the globe. See you tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. only on the TV1News.com YouTube channel. Bye!